With just 2 days left in his presidency, we're learning this morning that President Trump plans to pardon or commute the sentences of dozens and dozens of people. The list could include his own family members and close allies. But it goes one step further. Let's talk about money. The New York Times reporting that some of the president's allies have collected tens of thousands of dollars from wealthy felons to push themselves to the top of the list to the White House for clemency. A sort of pardon black market is emerging around the administration. We should note NBC News has not confirmed the report, so I want to bring in the journalist behind this very important story. New York Times' Ken Vogel joins us. Ken, what is going on?
Well, there are a couple of things going on that have led to this dynamic where we have this booming market for pardon lobbying. Number one is Trump has conducted his entire presidency in a very transactional manner where he has looked to friends, allies, even family for advice and for advice as to how he can benefit himself politically. And number two is he has really circumvented the traditional method for the traditional process for evaluating pardons. And that typically goes through the Justice Department, which has this whole bureaucratic process for vetting and identifying worthy pardon recipients. So Trump has taken that all and moved it in-house inside the White House, where it's being run by the White House counsel's office and Jared Kushner, his son-in-law and White House advisor. And so if you want to get a pardon application in front of the president or the people making these decisions, you don't go through this normal traditional route through the Justice Department. Instead, you find an ally of the president's or a family member or an advisor who you can potentially pay to get your pardon request or commutation request before the president. And we are seeing that in a number of instances.
This is the exact kind of thing that infuriates the American people. So I have to ask, is it legal?
It appears to be, yes. The pardon power is completely unchecked. I mean, there are very few rules surrounding it. The president can pardon whomever he wants for whatever reasons he wants. He doesn't even have to give a reason. And there's also not a lot of rules around the process and lobbying for these pardons. We have seen a number of folks who have filed lobbying disclosure statements indicating, and these are folks who are close to the president, indicating that they are lobbying for pardons. But if you're a lawyer, you can say, well, I don't have to register as a lobbyist because it's just legal work. And so, you know, in the instances where we have seen folks who are close to the president registering as lobbyists, they are traditional lobbyists. So Matt Schlapp, for instance, is a guy, Republican operative and lobbyist, who was instrumental in President Trump's rise. He is the guy who ran the American Conservative Union, which puts on CPAC where President Trump spoke. And Matt Schlapp's wife, by the way, went to work in the White House and then went to work for the campaign. Well, Matt Schlapp registered to represent a Republican donor by the name of Pete Petit, who is seeking a pardon. He was convicted in 2019 of securities fraud. And Matt Schlapp registered just recently to represent him to lobby the White House for a pardon.
Ken, this is extraordinary. I really appreciate you doing this piece. I want to dig into it even further. Joining me now to discuss